Captain Li Huan stood on the bridge of his ship, watching the sky turn dark. But this darkness was not from clouds or night. Massive alien ships blocked out the sun as they came down through Earth's atmosphere. Each ship was the size of a city, with metal that gleamed like silver and weapons that glowed with blue light. "Sir, we have incoming communications from the alien fleet," said Lieutenant Park Sora, her voice shaking slightly. She had never seen anything like this before. None of them had. Li Huan pressed the communication button. A deep voice filled the bridge, speaking in perfect human language. "People of Earth, I am Admiral Voss of the Cathani Empire. Your world is now under our control. Do not resist, and your deaths will be quick." The captain looked at his crew. They were all young, all scared, but they were ready to fight. Earth's military was small compared to these aliens, but they would not give up without a battle. "All ships, this is Captain Li Huan." He spoke into his radio. "Protect the cities, protect our people. Fight with everything you have." The battle began immediately. Earth's fighter jets rose to meet the alien ships, but it was like throwing stones at giants. The alien weapons destroyed human aircraft with single shots. The alien shields blocked all human weapons. In just 2 hours, most of Earth's military was gone. Li Huan watched his own ship burning around him as alien fighters attacked. His crew was dead or dying. He grabbed the emergency radio and sent one last message to anyone who could hear. "This is Captain Li Huan. The aliens are too strong. Save who you can. Protect the children." In Seoul, Dr. Kim Nari ran through the streets as alien soldiers marched through the city. These soldiers were tall and thin, with gray skin and large black eyes. They carried weapons that could turn a human to ash in seconds. But they were not killing everyone. They were looking for something specific. Kim Nari hid behind a destroyed car and watched as the aliens set up camps near schools and orphanages. They were taking children. Only children. Boys and girls between the ages of 5 and 15 were being loaded onto transport ships. "Why the children?" she whispered to herself. As a scientist who studied alien life, she knew this was not normal war behavior. Most aliens who conquered planets either killed everyone or enslaved adults for work, but these aliens only wanted the young ones. She watched as alien soldiers entered a nearby school. Soon, they came out carrying crying children. The aliens were not cruel to the children, but they were not gentle either. They treated them like objects being moved from one place to another. Kim Nari followed the aliens to their camp. She hid in the ruins of a building and listened to their conversations. The aliens spoke in their own language, but she had studied alien languages before. She could understand some words. "Neural adaptation high in young specimens," one alien said to another. "Brain flexibility maximum at early development stage," the second alien replied. "Perfect for conditioning process," the first one agreed. Kim Nari felt sick. These aliens were not just taking children as slaves. They were taking them because young human brains could be changed and controlled more easily than adult brains. They planned to erase the children's memories and make them into perfect servants who would never fight back. Across the city, 8-year-old Park Min-ho held his sister Yuna's hand tightly. Yuna was only 6 years old and did not understand why strange gray beings were putting children into big metal boxes. Their grandmother had hidden them in the basement when the aliens came, but the soldiers had special machines that could find humans anywhere. "Do not let go of my hand," Minho whispered to Yuna as alien soldiers grabbed them both. "No matter what happens, remember who you are. Remember our names. Remember home." Yuna started to cry as they were pushed toward the transport ship. Other children were crying too. Some were calling for their parents. Others were too scared to make any sound at all. The alien ship was cold and dark inside. The children were put into small rooms with metal walls. Minho and Yuna were separated despite his protests. Through a small window, Minho could see other transport ships loading more children from other parts of the city. Outside the ship, their grandmother ran toward the transport area, calling their names. "Minho, Yuna, bring back my grandchildren." But alien soldiers blocked her way. She fell to her knees, watching helplessly as the ships prepared to leave. Admiral Voss stood in his command center, watching reports from all over Earth. His soldiers had collected exactly 57,000 children from every continent. The operation had been perfect. Earth's military was destroyed and the planet's governments had surrendered. "Sir, the transport ships are ready to depart," his assistant reported. "Excellent," Voss said, looking at the numbers on his screen. "These human young will make the finest servants the Empire has ever had. Their brains are more adaptable than any species we have encountered. Once the conditioning is complete, they will serve us without question for the rest of their lives." Voss had conquered 17 worlds before Earth. He had enslaved hundreds of species. But human children were special. Their minds could be shaped to learn any skill, adapt to any environment, and follow any order. They were the perfect slaves. As the transport ships left Earth's atmosphere, Voss smiled. Another easy victory for the Cathani Empire. These humans had been weak and simple. They would cause no more trouble. But Admiral Voss did not understand humans very well. He had won the battle and taken the children, but he had made a terrible mistake. He had left the adults alive. And those adults included parents, grandparents, teachers, and soldiers who loved those children more than their own lives. Down on Earth, in the ruins of Seoul, Dr. Kim Nari picked up Captain Li Huan's broken radio. Other voices were already coming through from around the world. Angry voices, determined voices, voices of people who would not accept what had happened. The Cathani thought they had won, but they had only started a war that would burn across the stars. 3 months had passed since the Cathani took Earth's children. The gray aliens controlled every major city on the planet. Their patrol ships flew over the ruins every day, making sure no humans were planning trouble. Admiral Voss believed he had broken the human spirit completely. He was wrong. Deep under the mountains near Seoul, Colonel Choi Dae-ho sat at a table covered with maps and radio equipment. Before the invasion, he had been one of South Korea's best special forces soldiers. Now he was something the aliens had never faced before, a human who refused to give up. "Report from the American sector," said Private Lee Hanna, handing him a coded message. "They have 20,000 people ready to fight. The Europeans have 15,000. The Africans have 30,000. Choi Dae-ho smiled for the first time in months. All around the world, humans were doing the same thing he was doing. They were hiding underground, gathering weapons, and planning their revenge. The aliens controlled the surface, but they had no idea what was happening below. "Any word about the children?" he asked. Lee Hanna's face became sad. "Some signals from space. The tracking team thinks they found where the aliens took them. A place called Kepler 442b. It is very far away." "How far?" 300 light years. "Sir?" Choi Dae-ho was quiet for a moment. 300 light years was impossible to reach with human technology, but impossible had never stopped humans before. In another hidden base under the ruins of Tokyo, Dr. Bae Min-jae worked with pieces of broken alien technology. Before the war, he had been a quantum physicist at Seoul National University. Now he was humanity's best hope for understanding how Cathani weapons worked. "The power source is incredible," he said to his assistant, Dr. Ojiwan. "This one small piece could power our entire base for a year. But I cannot figure out how to make it work with human systems." Dr. Ojiwan pointed to a strange crystal inside the alien device. "What about this part? It looks different from the metal pieces." Dr. Bae Min-jae looked closer. The crystal was changing colors as he watched it. Sometimes it was blue, sometimes green, sometimes red. "It is responding to something," he said. "But what?" He held the crystal near his head, and it turned bright white. When Dr. Ojiwan held it, the crystal turned yellow. "It is reading our brains," Dr. Bae Min-jae said with excitement. "The alien technology connects to neural patterns. That is why they wanted our children. Human brains are different from alien brains. This discovery would change everything, but Dr. Bae Min-jae did not know it yet. In a hidden facility under London, communications specialist Han Soo-young listened to alien radio signals 24 hours a day. She had been an electronics engineer before the war. Now she was one of the few humans who could understand Cathani communications. Most alien messages were boring reports about patrols and supply shipments. But today, Han Soo-young heard something that made her blood freeze. Processing facility reporting normal operations, an alien voice said. Batch 77 Alpha shows good adaptation to conditioning protocols. Memory erasure 95% complete. Personality reconstruction proceeding as planned. Han Soo-young grabbed her radio and called Colonel Choi Dae-ho immediately. Sir, I have terrible news about the children. What is it? Choi Dae-ho's voice was tense. They are erasing their memories. The aliens are turning our children into different people. If we wait much longer, there will be nothing left to save. Colonel Choi Dae-ho closed his eyes and made the hardest decision of his life. Send word to all resistance groups around the world. Tell them we are going to war. Sir, we do not have ships that can reach space. We do not have weapons that can fight their technology. How can we possibly attack them? I do not know yet, Choi Dae-ho said. But we will find a way. We are human. Finding impossible ways is what we do best. The call went out through secret radio networks around the globe. In hidden bases under every continent, resistance fighters began preparing for a war that seemed impossible to win. They had no spaceships, no advanced weapons, and no real plan. But they had something the aliens did not understand: the fury of parents who had lost their children. In New York, former Navy SEAL Commander Kim Jin-young gathered his team in an abandoned subway tunnel. I know this sounds crazy, he told them, but we are going to build spaceships. His team looked at him like he had lost his mind. Sir, humans have never built ships that can travel between stars, said Sergeant Park Yejin. Then we will be the first, Kim Jin-young replied. Dr. Bae Min-jae in Tokyo thinks he can figure out how alien technology works. Engineer Park Ji-soo in Berlin has plans for using alien power sources in human ships. We have pieces of crashed alien fighters all over the world. We just need to put them together. In Berlin, engineer Park Ji-soo was already working on this exact problem. Her workshop was filled with parts from destroyed Katani ships. Before the war, she had designed satellites. Now she was trying to build something that had never existed, a human ship powered by alien technology. The main problem is the interface, she explained to her team. Alien computers do not understand human commands, but if Dr. Bae Min-jae is right about the neural connection, maybe we can make them understand human thoughts. Captain Yoon Seok-jin, a former astronaut from the International Space Station, volunteered to test the first hybrid ship. He had been in space when the aliens invaded and had watched helplessly as Earth burned below him. Now he wanted to be the first human to take the fight to the aliens. I lost my daughter in the first wave, he told the engineers. She was 7 years old. Her name was Yoon Min-ji. If these ships can help me get her back, I will fly them to hell itself. The work was dangerous and desperate. Alien technology was not designed for human use. 3 volunteers died when experimental power sources exploded. 5 more were seriously injured when alien computers overloaded their nervous systems. But for every person who fell, 10 more took their place. Meanwhile, Han Soo-young continued, listening to alien communications. She learned that the children were being held at a massive facility orbiting the gas giant Kepler 442b. The aliens called it Processing Station 7. More than 50,000 human children were trapped there, having their minds slowly erased and rebuilt. We have maybe 2 months before the conditioning is permanent, she reported to the worldwide resistance. After that, our children will not remember being human at all. Colonel Choi Dae-ho gathered reports from around the world. The Americans had built 3 experimental ships. The Europeans had 2, the Asians had 4, the Africans had 1, but it was the largest. None of the ships had been tested for long-range travel. Most of them would probably explode before reaching the edge of the solar system, but they were going anyway. This is probably suicide, Choi Dae-ho told his officers. We have no guarantee these ships will work. We have no experience fighting. In space, we do not even know if we can find the alien facility. Sir, said Captain Li Huan, who had survived the first battle and joined the resistance. Those are our children. Suicide is better than abandoning them. Every officer in the room nodded. Around the world, thousands of volunteers were making the same choice. Parents, soldiers, teachers, engineers, and ordinary people who had never held a weapon before. They were all preparing to travel across the galaxy for one simple reason. No one takes human children and gets away with it. The aliens had made a terrible mistake. They thought taking Earth's children would break human will to fight. Instead, they had awakened something that would burn across the stars until every child was home. 6 months after the children were taken, something strange was happening across Earth. People who had never spoken to each other before were working together like they had known each other for years. Americans shared technology with Russians. Chinese engineers worked with Indian soldiers. African miners sent rare metals to European shipyards. The old borders and arguments that had divided humanity for centuries suddenly meant nothing. Dr. Kim Nari, who had escaped capture during the Seoul invasion, now worked in a secret laboratory built inside an abandoned coal mine. She had made a discovery that changed everything they knew about the war. The alien neural interfaces are not just reading our thoughts, she explained to a video conference with resistance leaders around the world. They are trying to control them, but human brains are fighting back in ways the aliens never expected. Her screen. She showed brain scans from volunteers who had tested captured alien devices. Look at this pattern, she said, pointing to bright areas on the scan. When a human touches alien technology, our brains create new neural pathways. We are adapting to their systems faster than they can adapt to ours. Dr. Bei Minjae, joining the call from his laboratory in Tokyo, was excited. This explains why our hybrid ships are working better than we hoped. Human pilots are not just using alien technology, they are improving it. Colonel Choi Daeho leaned forward. What does this mean for rescuing the children? Dr. Kim Nari's face became serious. It means the aliens chose human children for the wrong reason. They thought young brains would be easier to control. But human neural plasticity works both ways. Our children might be fighting the conditioning from the inside. This news spread through the resistance networks like fire. Parents who had been broken by despair suddenly found new hope. Their children might still be themselves, hidden somewhere inside their altered minds. Engineer Park Ji-soo had been working non-stop for months in her Berlin workshop. Her latest creation was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. The ship looked like a human fighter jet mixed with alien technology. Its hull was made from earth metals, but alien crystals glowed along its sides. Human computers controlled its basic systems, while alien processors handled the advanced functions. I call it the Fury, she told Captain Yoon Seok-jin as he prepared for the first test flight. It is not pretty, but it should be able to reach other star systems. Captain Yoon Seok-jin climbed into the pilot seat. The controls were a mix of human switches and alien neural interfaces. When he put on the neural headset, the ship's systems connected directly to his thoughts. He could feel the alien power source responding to his mind, like a wild animal learning to trust a new master. Beginning test flight, he reported over the radio. Taking her up to orbital altitude, the Fury rose from its hidden launch pad and shot into the sky faster than any human ship had ever moved. But instead of the smooth flight everyone expected, the ship began spinning out of control. I cannot control it, Yoon Seok-jin shouted over the radio. The alien systems are fighting the human ones. Remember what Dr. Kim Nari said, Engineer Park Ji-soo called back. Do not fight the alien technology. Work with it. Let your brain adapt. Yoon Seok-jin closed his eyes and stopped trying to force the controls to obey him. Instead, he thought about his daughter Minji. He remembered her laugh, her smile, the way she used to draw pictures of spaceships. He focused on his love for her and his determination to bring her home. Suddenly, the ship stopped spinning. The alien and human systems found harmony. Yoon Seok-jin felt the ship respond to his emotions as much as his commands. When he thought about moving forward, the ship accelerated. When he thought about turning, it changed direction smoothly. This is incredible, he reported. I am not just piloting this ship, I am connected to it. Similar tests were happening around the world. In America, former Air Force pilot Major Song Hae-eun successfully flew a hybrid ship to the moon and back in just 6 hours. In Australia, Captain Park Sung-min tested weapons systems that combined human missiles with alien energy beams. But the most important test happened in a secret facility in the Sahara Desert. Engineer Lee Wurm had built something that should have been impossible, a faster-than-light communication system using alien technology. If this works, he explained to the gathered scientists, we can stay in contact with Earth even when our rescue ships are hundreds of light years away. The test was simple but dangerous. Lee Wurm would send a message to a receiver on the moon using the alien quantum communication system. If it worked, the message would arrive instantly instead of taking the usual few seconds. Testing quantum communication link, he said into the microphone. Message 1, the children will come home. On the moon, the receiver lit up immediately. The message had traveled instantly across space. Humanity now had faster-than-light communication. But the real breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Han Soo-young, who had been monitoring alien communications for months, discovered something that changed everything. I have been listening to the wrong signals, she announced during an emergency meeting. The aliens have been broadcasting on a frequency that hurts human ears, but our hybrid technology can filter it out. She played a recording of what she had found. It was a child's voice speaking in Korean. My name is Park Min-ho. I remember my sister Yuna. I remember Seoul. They are trying to make me forget, but I will not let them. If anyone can hear this, please help us. We are still here. The room fell silent. Then Colonel Choi Dae-ho smiled for the first time since the war began. Our children are fighting back. More hidden messages were found in the alien broadcasts. Children from every country were secretly communicating with each other, sharing memories and helping each other resist the conditioning. The aliens had underestimated human determination, even in children. Captain Lee Hwan, now commanding the Asian Rescue Fleet, studied the final reports. They had 17 hybrid ships ready for the mission. Each ship could carry 50 people and enough supplies for a year-long journey. The crews included pilots, soldiers, engineers, doctors, and parents who refused to stay behind. The plan is simple, he told the fleet commanders. We travel to Kepler 442b, destroy the processing station, and bring our children home. The aliens will try to stop us. They have better technology and more ships. But they do not have what we have. What is that, sir? Asked Captain Kim Mirai, who commanded the European fleet. Fury, Lee Hwan replied. Pure, unstoppable fury. They took our children. Now they will learn what happens when you make that mistake. Dr. Bae Min-jae had one final surprise for the rescue mission. His team had discovered that the neural connection between humans and alien technology worked both ways. Not only could humans control alien systems, but they could also disrupt them. Each ship will carry neural disruption devices, he explained. When we get close to alien technology, we can shut down their systems just by thinking the right thoughts. Their own weapons will turn against them. The night before the fleet launched, families gathered at the hidden spaceports around the world. Parents who were staying behind hugged parents who were leaving. Everyone knew this might be the last time they saw each other, but no one suggested calling off the mission. The aliens had made a simple mistake. They had threatened human children. Now they would face the consequences. Admiral Voss, still believing he had completely conquered Earth, had no idea what was coming. His processing station continued its work, slowly erasing the memories of 50,000 human children. He thought he was creating the perfect slaves. Instead, he had awakened the most dangerous force in the galaxy. Humans who had nothing left to lose and everything to fight for. The rescue fleet launched at dawn, 17 ships rising from Earth, toward the stars. Captain Lee Hwan sent one final message to the alien processing station as his ship entered hyperspace. We are coming for our children. Be afraid. The human fleet emerged from hyperspace near Kepler 442b like an avenging storm. Captain Lee Hwan stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Indomitable, watching the massive alien processing station hanging in space above the gas giant. The station was bigger than any human city, with thousands of lights and dozens of docking bays for alien ships. Alien fleet detected, reported Lieutenant Park Sora. 67 ships. They are moving to intercept us. Li Huan looked at his tactical display. 17 human ships against 67 alien vessels. By every rule of warfare, this should be an easy victory for the Cathani. But the aliens had never fought humans before. They had no idea what they were facing. "All ships, this is Admiral Li Huan," he said into his communication system. He had been promoted to admiral just before the mission launched. "Remember why we are here. Remember what they took from us. Today we show the galaxy what happens when you threaten human children." On the processing station, Admiral Voss watched the approaching human ships with confusion. These vessels looked wrong. They were too small, too crude, too desperate. The humans should have sent proper warships with organized formations and standard tactics. Instead, they had sent what looked like metal boxes held together with fury and determination. "Shall we offer them surrender terms?" asked his assistant. Admiral Voss laughed. "These primitives traveled 300 light years to die uselessly. Let them. Open fire when they enter weapon range." But Captain Yoon Seokjin, piloting the lead fighter Fury, had no intention of following standard battle procedures. As soon as the alien ships appeared on his screen, he did something no military academy had ever taught. He aimed his ship directly at the largest alien vessel and activated every weapon system at once. "This is for my daughter Minji," he shouted, as his ship streaked toward the enemy like a guided missile. The aliens tried to shoot down the small human ship, but Yoon Seokjin was connected to his vessel through the neural interface. He could feel the enemy weapons targeting him and dodge before they fired. His ship danced through the alien fire like it was alive. At the last second, Yoon Seokjin activated his escape pod and let his ship crash into the alien vessel's bridge. The explosion destroyed both ships, but the human pilot survived to be picked up by his rescue team. The alien fleet had never seen anything like this. In their thousands of years of conquest, enemies had always fought in organized formations, trying to preserve their ships and minimize casualties. But humans were fighting like they cared more about winning than surviving. Captain Kim Mireille commanded the European ship Vengeance. When 3 alien fighters surrounded her vessel, she did not try to outrun them. Instead, she flew straight up, at maximum speed, forcing the alien ships to follow her into the gravity well of the gas giant below. "If we are going down, we are taking you with us," she said calmly as her ship began to break apart from the gravitational stress. But at the last moment, she activated her emergency boosters and escaped the gravity well. The alien ships, not designed for such extreme maneuvers, were pulled into the gas giant and crushed. The battle was chaos. Humans rammed their ships into alien vessels, used their own reactors as bombs, and turned cargo holds into missile launchers. Captain Park Dongmin flew his ship American Liberty straight through an alien formation, firing in all directions and screaming the names of every child he knew. Commander Oh Hee-jin led the boarding teams that were supposed to infiltrate the processing station. Her ship Phoenix approached the massive alien facility while the space battle raged around them. The station's defenses should have been impossible to penetrate, but Dr. Bae Min-jae's neural disruption technology changed everything. "Activating neural disruptors," she announced as her team approached the station's docking bay. The devices sent waves of human neural patterns toward the alien systems. Immediately, the station's shields began to flicker and fail. "It is working," shouted Engineer Lee Worm from his position at the control console. "Their technology cannot handle human brain patterns. We are overloading their systems just by thinking at them." The boarding pod attached to the station's hull with a magnetic clamp. Oh Hee-jin and her team cut through the alien metal with plasma torches. Inside, the station's corridors were huge and cold, designed for beings twice human size. But the humans moved quickly through the passages, following the intelligence Dr. Kim Nari had gathered about the facility's layout. Alien guards tried to stop them, but the neural disruptors affected their weapons as well. Cathani energy rifles sparked and shut down when humans got too close. The guards found themselves fighting with primitive metal clubs against humans who carried both traditional guns and alien energy weapons that somehow worked perfectly for them. "The children are being held in Section 7. Oh Hee-jin called to her team as they fought through the station. Follow me." Meanwhile, the space battle was becoming a massacre, but not the kind Admiral Voss had expected. His fleet was being torn apart by human ships that refused to follow any logical battle tactics. The humans treated every engagement like a personal vendetta, attacking with such fury that his experienced commanders could not predict their movements. Captain Song Hyun, piloting the ship called Mother's Wrath, had lost her engines to alien fire. Instead of retreating, she set her ship to self-destruct and aimed it at the alien command vessel. "Tell my son Ji-hoon that Mommy is coming to get him," she said over the radio as her ship exploded, taking out the alien flagship. Captain Park Sung-min found himself surrounded by 5 alien fighters. His ship was damaged and his weapons were nearly empty. But he remembered something Dr. Kim Nari had taught them. Human neural patterns could disrupt alien technology at close range. He flew directly toward the nearest alien ship and grabbed it with his ship's mechanical arms. "Let us see how your technology handles a human hug," he said, as his neural disruptor overloaded the alien ship's systems. Both vessels began to explode, but Park Sung-min had already ejected in his escape pod. He repeated this tactic with 2 more alien ships before his rescue team could pick him up. Inside the processing station, Commander Oh Hyejin's team had fought their way to Section 7. But what they found there broke their hearts and filled them with even greater rage. Thousands of human children were locked in small metal cells, connected to machines that were slowly erasing their memories. Some children stared with empty eyes, their personalities already mostly gone. Others still recognized the human rescuers and began crying with joy. But many were in between, confused and frightened, not sure if the rescue was real or another alien trick. "My name is Oh Hyejin," the commander announced to the children. "We are humans from Earth. We have come to take you home." 8-year-old Park Min-ho heard her voice and began to cry. He had been fighting the alien conditioning for months, secretly communicating with other children and helping them remember their names. "Are you really from Earth?" he asked. "I am Park Min-ho. My sister is Yuna. We are from Seoul." "Yes, child. We are really from Earth." "Where is your sister?" Min-ho pointed to a nearby cell where 6-year-old Yuna lay connected to a memory-erasing machine. She had not spoken in weeks, but when she saw the human soldiers, she whispered one word. "Home?" Oh Hyejin's team worked frantically to disconnect the children from the alien machines. Some of the devices fought back, trying to complete their programming, but human engineers used neural disruptors to shut down the systems safely. "We have found the children," Oh Hyejin reported to the fleet, beginning evacuation procedures. But Admiral Voss was not finished fighting. He had called for reinforcements from nearby Kithani systems. Soon, more alien ships would arrive. The humans had maybe 1 hour to rescue all the children and escape. Outside the station, the space battle was reaching its climax. Only 7 human ships were still fighting, but they had destroyed over 40 alien vessels. The remaining Kithani ships were retreating, unable to understand how such primitive opponents had defeated them so completely. Captain Li Huan, his ship damaged but still flying, sent a message to Admiral Voss. "This is Admiral Li Huan of the Human Rescue Fleet. We are taking our children home. Any alien who tries to stop us will face the same fate as your fleet." Admiral Voss, watching his forces collapse around him, finally understood what he was fighting. These were not just soldiers or conquerors. These were parents who would die before letting anyone harm their children. They fought with a fury that his civilized empire had never encountered. "Retreat," he ordered his remaining ships. "Fall back to the outer system." But the humans were not interested in conquering alien territory. They just wanted their children back. As Commander Oh Hyejin's team finished loading the last children onto transport ships, the human fleet prepared to return home. "All children recovered," Oh Hyejin reported. "Some are badly damaged by the conditioning, but they are alive. We can help them remember who they are." Admiral Li Huan looked at his tactical display. Kithani reinforcements would arrive soon. Time to leave. But first, he had one more message for the galaxy. "This is Admiral Li Huan to all alien civilizations. Today you have learned what happens when you threaten human children. Remember this lesson. We will be watching. We will be ready. And if you ever make this mistake again, we will show no mercy, no. Admiral Voss tried to send surrender messages as his processing station burned around him. His mighty Cathani Empire, which had conquered 17 star systems, was crumbling before a species that had barely learned to travel between stars. But the human response came back immediately, broadcast across all frequencies so every alien in the galaxy could hear it. "You do not negotiate with kidnappers," said Admiral Li Huan's voice, cold and final. "You face justice." The war that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Human fleets appeared at every Cathani military base, every government center, every planet where the Empire had committed crimes. But these were not the desperate crude ships that had attacked the processing station. In just 6 months, human engineers had learned to build vessels that combined the best of human innovation with captured alien technology. Dr. Bei Minje's neural disruption technology had evolved into something terrifying. Human ships could now shut down entire alien fleets just by getting close enough. The Cathani found their advanced weapons turning into useless metal when humans approached. "It is not fair," Admiral Voss complained during one of his failed attempts to negotiate. "You are using our own technology against us." Captain Yoon Seokjin, who had survived his kamikaze attack and was now commanding his own battleship, replied with human logic. "You should not have stolen our children if you did not want us to steal your technology." But the humans did something that surprised every alien civilization in the galaxy. They did not target Cathani civilians or children. Despite their fury, despite their power to destroy entire worlds, the humans followed rules of war that protected innocent lives. Commander Oh Hyejin, now leading the War Crimes Investigation Unit, hunted down only those aliens who had been directly involved in child trafficking. Her teams would land on Cathani worlds, disable military defenses with neural disruptors, and arrest specific individuals. Cathani civilians found themselves protected by the same humans who were destroying their military. "Why do you not kill us all?" asked a Cathani civilian leader during the occupation of their homeworld. "Our empire enslaved your children. By galactic law, you could destroy our entire species." Colonel Choi Daeho, now promoted to general and commanding the occupation forces, gave an answer that was broadcast across the galaxy. "Because we are not you. We do not hurt children, and we do not punish innocent people for the crimes of their leaders." This restraint impressed other alien civilizations who had been watching the war with growing concern. The Zephyrian Republic, the Crystalline Confederation, and the nomadic fleets had all expected the humans to become the new galactic tyrants. Instead, they saw a species that could control its rage and target only those who deserved punishment. The Cathani Empire's collapse accelerated as other species joined the human alliance. The Arcturian Mining Guild, which had been enslaved by the Cathani for 2 centuries, provided rare metals for human ship construction. The Vegan Agricultural Consortium shared food production technology to help feed the growing human fleet. The silicon-based collectives offered computational support for navigation and communication. "The humans have done something we thought impossible," reported Ambassador Keth of the Zephyrian Republic to the Galactic Council. "They have created a military alliance based on justice rather than conquest." On Earth, the rescued children were slowly recovering from their ordeal. Dr. Kim Nari had established treatment centers around the world where young humans worked with the brightest minds of their species to rebuild damaged memories and heal psychological wounds. Park Minho and his sister Yuna were among the success stories. Though the alien conditioning had erased many of their memories, the love between brother and sister had proven stronger than any alien technology. By helping each other remember, they gradually recovered most of who they had been. "I remember grandmother's face now," Yuna told Dr. Kim Nari during one of her therapy sessions. "And I remember Sol before the aliens came, but I also remember something else." "What is that, dear one?" "I remember that humans never give up. Even when the aliens tried to make me forget everything, I knew someone would come for us. I knew my people would not abandon me." This recovery was happening with children all over Earth. The human spirit, it seemed, was harder to break than the aliens had believed. Family love, cultural memories, and the simple determination to remain human had helped most children resist the worst effects of the conditioning. But the war was not over. Admiral Voss had escaped to the outer rim of Cathani space with the remains of his fleet. From there, he sent messages to other hostile alien empires, warning them about the new human threat. "These creatures are dangerous," he broadcast. "They fight without honor, use our own technology against us, and refuse to follow civilized rules of conquest. They must be stopped before they spread their chaos across the galaxy." Some alien empires listened to his warnings. The hegemony of Sharp Edges began building defenses against potential human attack. The collective of pure thought started developing anti-neural weapons. The machine dominion calculated that humans represented a 73.6% probability of galactic disruption. But these preparations were based on a fundamental misunderstanding of human nature. The aliens expected humans to continue expanding and conquering like a traditional galactic empire. Instead, humanity did something unprecedented. They stopped. After dismantling the Cathani military and rescuing every enslaved being in their territory, the human fleet simply went home. They established a single embassy on the neutral station of Galactic Hub 7 and sent one simple message to every civilization in the galaxy. Humanity claims no territory beyond Earth's solar system. We seek no conquest, no tribute, no subjugation of other species. But we will be watching. Any civilization that enslaves children of any species will face our justice. The embassy's first ambassador was Dr. Kim Nari, who had become an expert in interspecies psychology during the war. Her staff included rescued children who had volunteered to help other enslaved young beings across the galaxy. "How can we trust you?" asked the crystalline ambassador during the first diplomatic meeting. "You have weapons that can destroy any fleet, technology that can shut down our systems, and fury that burns across star systems. What stops you from conquering all of us?" Dr. Kim Nari smiled and gestured to young Park Minho, who was serving as a cultural advisor despite being only 9 years old. "Ask him." Minho looked up at the towering crystal being and said in the careful tone his grandmother had taught him, for speaking to adults, "We do not want to conquer anyone. We just want to make sure no other children go through what we went through. If you do not hurt children, you have nothing to fear from humans." The simplicity of this answer shocked the assembled aliens. Most galactic civilizations had complex motivations involving resources, territory, ideology, or species superiority. But humans seem to have only one driving principle: protect the children. Over the following year, the Human Protection Doctrine became the most important treaty in galactic history. 47 civilizations signed agreements promising to end all forms of child slavery and accept human monitoring of their activities. Those who refused found their systems quietly infiltrated by ships that could disable any technology and disappear before reinforcements arrived. Admiral Voss, still hiding in the outer rim, tried one final attack on Earth itself. He had gathered ships from 12 different hostile species and convinced them that humans were too dangerous to leave alive. His combined fleet was the largest armada ever assembled in galactic history. But when they arrived at Earth, they found something impossible waiting for them. The entire planet was surrounded by a defensive grid that combined human innovation with technology from 47 allied species. Ships from the Zephyrian Republic flew alongside human vessels. Crystalline fighters supported Arcturian miners. The entire galaxy had come to defend Earth. "This is impossible," Voss muttered as his sensors showed him the size of the Allied fleet. "No species has ever united this many civilizations." Captain Li Huan, now commanding the Earth Defense Force, sent a final message to the attacking fleet. "Admiral Voss, you are under arrest for crimes against children of 17 species. Surrender now, and you will receive a fair trial. Continue fighting, and you will face the justice of 47 worlds." The battle was over before it began. Faced with a united galaxy defending humanity, most of Voss's allies immediately switched sides. The Admiral found himself alone in space, His fleet gone, his empire destroyed, his legacy reduced to a single lesson that would be taught in schools across the galaxy for generations. Never threaten human children. 5 years after the first invasion, Earth had become the unofficial guardian of galactic civilization, not through conquest or intimidation, but through the simple demonstration that some principles were worth fighting for. In Seoul, Park Min-ho and Yuna played in the same park where they had been captured years earlier. Above them, ships from dozens of species moved peacefully through Earth's sky, their crews learning human values of protection and justice. "Do you think the aliens will try to take children again?" Yuna asked her brother. Minho looked up at the alien ships and smiled. "No, they learned what happens when you make humans angry.